Hello, welcome to Chess Prime, and as part of this video we are going to see another OOPS principle called encapsulation, and also we are going to see some of things related to encapsulation, like what are the advantages we are going to achieve it and what is the definition, and we are going to see some of the practical example of encapsulation, and finally we are going to see the disadvantage of encapsulation as well, right? Okay, let me discuss about the first one is like what is a encapsulation. Let give me a brief definition. Encapsulation is the process of grouping data members and corresponding methods into a single unit is called encapsulation. Basically, what we are trying to do here, we are trying to group a data members and corresponding methods into a single unit, right? So that we are going to see now in subsequent examples. So how we are going to grouping the data members and corresponding methods into a single unit. And the second thing is, like I said, advantage, right? What advantage you are going to achieve it after applying this encapsulation principle, right? Like we are going to achieve it. Security, enhancement of the code, maintenance will become very easy, and modularity of the program what we are going to write. And the final one is the testing will become very easy when you are applying these encapsulation principles, right? So these are some of the advantages you are going to achieve it, and we will be seeing all these advantages practically with an example. Okay, let me write a simple encapsulation program, and you will be understanding it. So instead of discussing theoretically, once you write practical examples, then it will be more easy to understand it. So I'm going to write a simple Java program. So I'm going to write a simple employee class or employee application you can consider. So inside that we are going to apply the encapsulation principle. So from that we are trying to understand it. So let me give the class name is employee app, and we need a main class. So I'm going to select public static void main and finish it. So we have an employee class over here, and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this employee class under a package. Let me write this employee class under, let me write a simple class again back. So we have to write this class, we have to keep under a package, right? Com.test com.oops. And caps. So this is our package name. I'm going to give the class name is employee app. So this is our class name, and we need a main method. I'm going to select default main method. So our class is ready. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a simple employee class which is having some of the basic employee details under same package. So this is our employee class, and finish it. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to declare some of the fields of employee: integer age, integer salary, and just consider employee name. So these are the three fields is having an employee: integer age, salary, and employee name, and you can consider integer employee number as well, so that way it will give some more sense. So we have an employee class which is having a set of fields, and also we have an employee class which is managing the employee objects, right? So this is our main simple class. So what I'm trying to do here now, I'm going to create an employee object. So I created employee object. Now what I want to do, I want to set the values of an employee, like I have age, salary, employee name, all those things, right? So this is where we need to think more securely, right? So I can just assume I'm an admin. So I logged in as an admin, and now I'm trying to set the employee object. Salary I'm making as 8,000, right? and employee dot age I'm giving as a 25. Employee dot employee number is this the one, right? If you see here, I can able to set the values directly. So I consider this employee one is the name. See here, I logged in as an admin and I can able to set the values, right? So there is no check here. Just assume there is some unknown person is logged in into your application and he is trying to set the employee salary is trying to add another zero. Do you see this one? So this is an issue here. So there is unknown person is directly he can able to modify your salary field. So there is a security issue over here. So we cannot give a chance to modify the other people right now. In this case, anybody can able to modify the salary field or employee object directly, right? So there is no security or there is no validations we are not able to do over here. Similarly, anybody can able to read the value, right? Employee id equal to employee dot. So anybody can able to read or anybody can able to edit the employee object. So there is no validations, there is no security over here, right? So how to make secure to protect this object? We have to we need to provide a validation kind of thing such a way that nobody can edit these fields, only admin can edit it and only admin can able to read it. So these are some of the validation kind of things we need to provide it, and instead of editing everybody, right? So this is a security issue here. So what we have to do like we discussed as part of the previous videos, we can make these fields as a private so that nobody can able to access it, right? Only within the class these fields can be accessed. Let me make this as a private to make more secure, right? So now we made this as a private, and if we come back to our class, so we will be getting bunch of errors. So that means we cannot access these members outside of our class. So that is the private principle, right? Access level. So how to access it? To access these members, we have to provide some public methods which we can able to set the values, right? So this is the second issue or second point we have to take it. So we need to provide such a way that these fields can be assigned or can be read. So we are not able to read the value, similarly we are not able to set the value, right? So what we have to do, we have to provide some public methods. So to provide the public methods for these fields, so generally we have to provide setter and getter. So these are the common methods it's required to say, to make these fields are publicly accessible, right? So like I said, it's a commonly or frequently used method. So Eclipse will provide you a shortcut to generate these methods very easily. You right click and you will get a source and you just come down over here. You can see generate setter and getter here and select all the fields or whichever fields you are interested to make publicly available, generate it, right? So now your public methods are available which can able to set the values and which can able to modify the or which can able to read the values, right? So you can see here we have a set getter get salary. Now we can come back here. So instead of assigning the values directly over here, so what we are going to do here, we are going to use set methods and we can pass the value over here. So this is one of the way we can access the public, we can able to assign the values to the public and private members, right? So let me change this one also. So this is the employee number which we can able to pass the value by using setter and getter, and last one is employee dot age. So this is the employee number which we can able to pass the value by using setter and getter, and last one is employee name. Yes, done. This is also done. So we can able to set the values with the help of setter method, right? So now if you see this unknown method, right, so still it's giving you an error. So unknown people cannot pass the value directly, and they had to set the value over the setter method, right? So say for instance, if some unknown person is trying to access your set salary, so they can able to pass some big number or less number, right? So if you go back to your set salary, so you can add validation over here, right? Validation means who is trying to modify the employee details and does this having proper roles, right? So you can add more number of checks over here, so that way you can able to avoid unauthorized people to modify these values. So this is the advantage of this method. If you feel the user is if you feel the user is not the right person, then you can directly you can ignore it. You don't allow them to proceed further, right? So this is the way we can able to provide more security for your data fields, right? And now come back to the read part. The second part is reading part. So if you want to read the employee number, we already provided a simple setter method which can able to read the value and which you can able to access it, right? So say for instance, now some unknown person is trying to access your data, so here also you can add similar kind of validations that this user is a valid user, and this user is having proper roles, all those things you can add as many number of validation as for your wish, right? So this is the way you can able to provide more security to your data members, and which only authorized people can able to access, and unauthorized peoples can be eliminated very easily with the help of these public methods and proper validations, right? So this is one of the way we can able to provide more security with the help of encapsulation. And this is the first advantage, like I said, security, you can able to achieve it. And like I said, second advantage is enhancement, right? So the enhancement is very easy. If you see here, right, so the validations, so if you have any specific validation which is handling from different APIs, so that you can able to call over here, right? So that is the way you can able to do enhancement. And maintenance is very easy, right? So all those things, now we can able to separate the things very easily, and maintenance will become very easy. And also the another thing you can see here, right, so the modularity, right, the security things you can make in a different method, so that way you can able to keep things in a different way. And these are the some of the advantage you will be getting when you are applying the encapsulation principle. And the final advantage I can say here, testing. The testing approach is very easy when you make these kind of things, right? So you can pass some of the test value and you can able to validate it, right? So when you are trying to test this particular employee class alone, so this is also one of the advantage for encapsulation. And so far we discussed about the advantages, and now I want to show some of the real-time examples where you can able to find this encapsulation. Yes, let me show you the PPT. If we see the PPT, right, we can see some of the pictures over here. So we can see capsules, right? So the capsule is one of the best example which we can discuss some of the encapsulation in our real time. So encapsulation is having all kind of vitamins which is binding together and which make as a capsules, right? So that we can take directly, right, instead of taking piece by piece. So this is one of the example. And the second example you can see over here, ATM, right? So ATM is another best example which is encapsulated. And so how it is encapsulated, right, like how it is making together like data members and methods which is acting all together, right? Say for instance, if I want to take the cash, like, assume cash is private member. If I want to take the cash, you cannot take the cash directly, so you have to insert the card and you have to provide the set of user ID, password, all those things whatever is required. So then once all the fields are validated, then only you can able to get the cash, right? So this is the set of validations we have to insert the card and provide the password, and it should be validated. And if all the validation are successful, and if your account is having enough money, then only you will get the cash, right? So these are the validations we have, and your the cash is more secured, right? And next and last example, if you see what the car here, right? So car also having a lot of data members like brakes, petrol, whatever, right? So that you cannot access directly. So the car also having a secure way, right? It's a key. So if you have a key, then only you can able to access the your car, you can able to drive it, otherwise you can't drive it, right? So this is one of the way you can able to make your car as a secure way, right? So these are the some of the real-time example which we are seeing daily in our life, right? So this is about some of the examples what we can discuss about encapsulation. And then yeah, last one we can discuss about disadvantages. So for now, go back to our program. If you see this encapsulated program, right, we can see some of the disadvantages as well. Say for instance, if you don't want to apply this encapsulation, or if you're really applying the encapsulation, you can see a lot number of lines we have to write it, a more number of, for every field we have to write setter and getter, right? So it's generating more number of lines. And like I said here, another disadvantage you can see here, there is a lot of validations it is generating. So more number of validations we have to write, and more number of lines it is adding. And because due to this, what will happen, your program execution will take more time, so indirectly it will give performance issues. So these are the some of the disadvantages you are going to achieve it when you are applying the encapsulation, along with your advantages like security, all those things. So finally what we can discuss here, so the encapsulation we no need to apply everywhere. So wherever you feel more security is required, you go for encapsulation. If you feel there is no security is not required, like whenever you are writing some utility APIs and all, so in that case you no need to write private members. So that way you can able to minimize the more number of lines, and execution you can able to make more. So these are the some of the disadvantages also you are going to achieve it as part of your encapsulation. So based on our requirement, we can able to apply the encapsulation wherever is required, and wherever is not required you can ignore it. So that way we should know both encapsulation advantages and disadvantages, where to apply, where not to apply. So then we can able to write the better way the programming. I think that's all about this encapsulation. And if you like the video, and you can click the like button and subscribe the channel for more subsequent videos. And thanks for watching, and thanks for your time.